here's a drug that I don't think you guys would have known about. It's a very popular drug on Arrowwood. And we're going to start here from Transambulance is the name, which is the extremely drug guy name.
Yeah.
But it says, keeping it real, and then ... my nuts. So he's funny.
Nice.
And this is a trip report on nutmeg, which you can trip on. But
I've heard this before. I've never this seems like one of those ones that you like, a desperation one.
Yeah.
You know, look, seem that way when you read a few of these trip reports.
So it isn't. So these people are seeking it out, and it's not like, oh shit, like, because now I might be ignorant here, because maybe you need so much of it that you need more than what would just be around your house, you know. But Jesus, I think
that would be a little bit of nutmeg goes a long way when it comes to eating it. So if you have to if you have to smoke this much nutmeg, I'm out. I don't want it.
I'm not sure. Let's wait. Let's hear.
It says, do not use powder. Use powder. Use whole, fresh, organic nutmeg. 2, don't underestimate its potency. Most people take way too much. Expect 3 to 4 hours to pass between ingestion and effects.
That is wild. I just want to say, as a drug user, that is a wild amount of time. I mean, I'm getting a little antsy if I'm, taking some mushrooms and 35, 45 minutes have gone by. I'm like, come on, let's go.
I don't think they work. I'm a take shrooms and says I don't think they work guy every time. I don't think they're going to work for me.
I think that some people got into some think about the amount of trouble you get in early taking nutmeg. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
You're just like, this definitely isn't working. Then you take more, and you're like, well, this isn't working either. I guess I'll take some more. This isn't working, and now you've ended up taking.
He does say the next tip here is to clear your calendar for at least 36 hours after ingestion.
Oh, that's another one. That's another one where it really, really turns me off.
Yeah.
I don't really have the ability to clear my calendar for that long, unfortunately. Anymore.
Nobody does.
Not to repeat somebody else's joke, but it does feel a lot like the Mitch Hedberg thing about baked potatoes. Like, maybe I'll just throw one in case.
Yeah,
I want one later. Like, maybe I'll just smoke some nutmeg in case I want to be high in like 6 hours.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe that is really, because I think that would be just sort of I guess you'd get used to it, but certainly the first time when it's even if it's going to take that long, the fact that you do it and just so much time passes, and then all of a sudden, like hours later, watched a couple movies, gone for a walk, and then boom, then you're just fucking high.
Well, here's how he did it. I'm going to give you guys the ingestion the way he did it. So
it's not smoking.
No, I crushed 2 fresh nuts. Purchased from a local organic co-op in a steel pot with a hammer, wrapped each of the resulting teaspoons of mash in a melted mozzarella cheese slug, which I then swallowed whole. The taste of nutmeg is unpleasant, but the cheese slugs acted like a large pill casing.
Like a dog, like you would dose a dog with their heartworm medication.
Nutmeg and mozzarella, to me, it's like you're taking a mozzarella pill, which doesn't seem good. Cheese is already hard to deal with sometimes.
I think this is where I betray my total my Felix Unger nature when it comes to this kind of stuff, because if I wanted to get I don't want to get high. I don't like the experience of it, and I'm just not built for it. I would prefer to just I just need this. I just need what's going on right here. I don't need anything else that's like hidden or beyond or anything. I don't need to access any of that stuff. But like if I did, like I wanted to chill or whatever, if I got to the point where I was having to smash something with a hammer in a steel pot, I think at that point I'd be like, well, hold up, maybe I can just like go for a walk, because like I can't, you know what I mean? Like if I need to cope with something, I'm not smashing stuff with a hammer. You know, it's not that bad for me yet.
If someone smashed it for me, the hammer, and it's like already produced,
there we go,
and then I can grab it, then maybe. But you're right, that's the same with dabbing. I mean, it's a similar type thing. You like got the whole rig out, and you got a blowtorch, and
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. This seems like blowtorch is like seems like a bit much here for what I'm looking to do.
Hey, maybe we don't need to bring titanium into the
Yeah,
mix when
like,
I'm.
I think I'll just smoke it with a lighter or whatever when I want to do it, And yeah, this seems like a lot of work, and also, yeah, the 36 hours thing, that's always terrifying to
Crazy.
me. Just like the day long, journey. No, thank you.
No.
Well, it also says pure lemon juice worked to wash out the worst of the flavor, but I had nutmeg flavored burps for a while afterward.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Like when you eat French onion soup and you're still getting it after it, like a couple days later. Yeah. I don't-
Oh man, and think about it, you could tell it was a real problem. He's like putting cheese pill casing and like lemon juice, like just going to extremes to try to deal with this taste. So it was not pleasant. It was like a real issue.
So number one, he tells us about the euphoria. The first giggle set in 3 hours after ingestion. I felt drowsy, and when I allowed myself to relax, everything seemed funny. Early on, the experience was very similar to mellow marijuana or marijuana and alcohol at the same time. Giggles and good feelings were easy to control, but enjoyable when left uncontrolled. I watched the Sunday night edition of Adult Swim and was much less critical
Okay.
of it than I usually am.
Wait,
Okay.
So hang on,
Interesting.
he usually watches. Let's be clear, he usually does watch it, but he's very critical normally. He probably sees through some of the bullshit.
Right.
But then now he's just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, I'll just sit back and I'll let fucking Rick, Morty, and I don't know who's on
This is
that.
probably a long time ago. He's probably thinking more like Frylock and Meatball and those
Yes.
kind of guys.
Oh yeah. What do you have a date on this?
I don't
Brian?
have a date on this
Ah.
one. The next thing he said is hallucinations, which I'm sure Jesse would love.
That's the big. You know what? There's a lot of side effects, or maybe just general effects. Hallucinations is the one I think I'm all the way out on. Maybe
Yeah, I
some
will
of
tell
the,
you,
my-
hallucinations. It's not a side effect of drugs. But you fucking,
It's an effect. For sure.
it's one of the main ones.
The
people
one
are
you're
looking
looking
for.
yeah.
I remember being like the first few times I did acid, like doing the hand in front of your face,
Yeah.
and being like, "This is great," but I'd love to see like a dragon because I thought you saw like shit. You don't really see anything.
Man, I had a pretty good mushroom trip. It was kind of fun until I started fucking seeing a bunch of cool lights. That was when it started fucking with me. That's fucking Jesse taking drugs.
Yeah, it is because they're not there, and I know they're not there. That's actually a problem. I think it's normal to be upset when you can't square your perception of reality with what you know to be real. That's a serious.
You're right.
That's a mind fuck.
You're
Well,
right.
he
You're
says,
right. You're right.
I had lots of good ideas. He put good ideas in quotes.
That's
Ideas
how he knew he was fucked up because his previous idea was smashing a bunch of nutmeg in a pan with a hammer. So that's how he knew he was getting really messed up.
ideas that are fun to think about and mentally explore, in parentheses there, on nutmeg. I get good ideas from marijuana, but my thinking was different on nutmeg. As the experience continued, I found myself experiencing mild hallucinations and extreme sexual arousal. I attribute my arousal to the nature of my hallucinations, but others have reported sexual arousal from nutmeg as well. Hallucinations were quite easy to control once I accepted that I was, in fact, hallucinating. So perhaps they were part of it. They were of an erotic nature because I was aroused by the nutmeg to begin with. So
yeah, I'm not liking this drug more and more. So you tell me this thing, it disconnects you from reality, forces you to hallucinate and become extremely sexually aroused.
Plus,
Yeah.
you start believing all the bull crap they put on Adult Swim. No thanks.
Yeah, no thanks. You all of a sudden are fucking laughing at Adult Swim. No. Actually, my fucking comedic palate is a little bit above that, and I would like to keep it that way.
Yeah.
So here's the side effects and remedies. One, bad taste. To avoid the taste, I melted fresh mozzarella on a plate, poured the nutmeg mash into 3 teaspoon-sized lines, and then melted more fresh mozzarella over the top of each line. After pinching the cheese fully shut around the spice, I scraped the 3 slugs off the plate and swallowed them whole.
I didn't know. I thought he was just wrapping it in some cheese. I didn't know it was this weird alchemy process. That's fucking disgusting.
Cheese slug? Oh.
I don't know why he picked cheese. Like, couldn't you have? Well, I guess we bake nutmeg and cookies all the time. But
Yeah.
can you make like a super nutmeg cookie?
I mean, if you're just thinking about stuff you give to dogs to trick them, just put it in peanut butter and just eat some peanut butter out of the jar or something.
Yeah, that's what you do with shrooms. You put them on a peanut butter sandwich, and that makes it like 10 times easier.
And then afterwards, yeah, you gotta, you dig out a little hole in the peanut butter, and then afterwards you do whatever you want.
Yeah, hey, well, these mushrooms are making me so aroused.
Well, I can't help it. I'm high on nutmeg.
Oh well.
And when I look at peanut butter and I've been taking nutmeg, all I can think about is I'll stick my damn dick in it.
Number 2 is dehydration. The worst side effect in my experience was cottonmouth. I was pissing like a racehorse and dehydrating rapidly once the effect set in. And the cottonmouth was a good thirst indicator. I stopped. It's always a good thirst indicator.
Yeah, that's cool, man. The cottonmouth was a good thirst indicator. It's such a fucked up way of just saying, like, oh, my mouth is dry. It means you're thirsty. Like,
he said, I stopped drinking water at some point, but I kept urinating. More water came out of me than I was putting in.
I don't think that's true. I don't believe that's
not true, but also if it is, it's very alarming.
Yeah, you've described an emergency for one.
Emergency situation.
But also perhaps a real physics phenomenon.
Yeah.
He goes, I forced myself to drink more. I'd suggest having a good amount of fresh, high quality water to drink on hand and drinking enough so your piss stays clear. Number 3, this is the one that I got this one for. Gastrointestinal disturbance.
Uh-oh.
As I said before, I had nutmeg flavored burps. I also had stomach pain and bad gas around 8 hours after ingestion, but a slice of fresh ginger under my tongue had me feeling better almost instantly. I also had lots of stomach gurgling throughout the whole experience and an almost non-existent appetite the next day. So he had diarrhea. He got diarrhea from this too.
Did these guys give ratings out of like 10 or something like that at the end of this, or no?
This was a positive one, but no, they don't give ratings.
Okay.
They just kind of are like, hey. And then finally the crash. I had severe fatigue on the following day, similar to a hangover after a night of good fun. Food, despite my loss of appetite, bed rest, and a hit of marijuana, a bottle of beer at dinner time, and vegetating in front of cartoons helped me through this. I think it was worth it.
Cartoons. He loves cartoons.
Hey, don't do a search on Arrowhead for cartoons. Your rig might shut down. That's all these guys do on here.
I mean, is this a kid maybe?
This one I got adult vibes off of, but
Adult Swim cartoons. I forgot.
Yeah.
That's how you know that kids can't watch that.
Kid would say, "I'm watching Barney."
Well, kids would say the kids would be watching it. What the heck's going on?
Yeah.
Well, I do have this one too. Nutmeg. I'd give Nutmeg a thumbs up by Timothy, and he goes, well, I had tried nutmeg a few times before this experience, but I hadn't really felt the real power of it until now. I used pre-ground nutmeg in all of them. The first time I tried to take it down with water, but ended up throwing up. So I decided to mix it with something. So this is what I did. I got a big bowl of vanilla ice cream and the nutmeg. I would take a spoonful of ice cream and a spoonful of nutmeg and sprinkle the nutmeg on top of the ice cream. I did this over a bowl so that I could reuse the nutmeg I spilled. Then I shoved it in my mouth and swished it up. I didn't want to swallow because it has the texture of sand and will stick to your throat. After it was all mixed up and it felt like a slush, I swallowed it. It's not the best tasting stuff, but it's not the end of the world bad.
Okay, well, that's good to know that it's not like sort of apocalyptically, I want to end things. This is the end of my life type of bad. But people are sort of describing this does seem like a very difficult drug to take.
Doesn't sound fun at all.
It seems like nature's kind of maybe saying like, nah, it's not one of the ones you're supposed to do.
I don't want to spoil anything that may be coming down the pike here, but is there stuff on this website? It's like I hit myself in the head 40 times and I got to see a vision, because it sounds like these guys are willing to do like anything. Like, this was disgusting. It made me want to throw up, but eventually I got through it and then had a very bad time for the next couple of days. That seems to be like the median experience.
And that's a positive review.
I know. That's what people are. Listen to this next line of this one. It took me a half hour to eat it, and I started eating at it around 3:30. I had to go to my neighbor's wedding this particular night, so I had
Well, whatever, man. Honestly, like, weddings can be kind of boring, and it's like kind of cool to, hey, spice it up a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, everybody? Come on. We're
Hey,
having fun.
Is it weird to invite your neighbors to your wedding?
Now, I like
That is weird,
because
right?
I guess it depends. Like, they could be your friends, but then wouldn't you just refer to them as friends?
Yeah.
Then my friend's wedding and not your
They're
neighbor.
my neighbors. I don't really like them, but I did invite them to my
Maybe
wedding.
it's the type of situation where there's like an open backyard, and it's
They were
like
gonna
out
be
on
there anyway. They were gonna do it in the backyard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it there. That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
this will be awkward because they're always out on their lawn. Let's just invite them. They had the discussion. Let's just invite the drug guy next door. Like, well, fuck, man. The last time we invited him, he was farting and shit from his nutmeg. Yeah.
Invite the nutmeg head. I mean, this guy could have a wedding and have a nutmeg bar, which is something that you could do.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Even as I'm writing this, I am having trouble remembering what I did next. At 7 p.m. when the wedding started, I remember nothing much going on. My eyes felt weird and everything was kind of blurry. Nothing mental yet. During the wedding ceremony, I was feeling really out of it. Every now and then we would stop to pray, and the second I closed my eye, I was gone to another reality where I felt I could just sit there with my head down forever. Also, when I closed my eyes and listened, everything felt around me. That's all they said. I could best describe it by having you close your eyes and don't see anything. Just listen. Then when the sense of sight loses all meaning to you, you'll get it. So that is a good description. But he goes, well, after the ceremony, we went to
Jesse's still trying to do it. He's still his eyes closed. He's still trying to get the sense.
I think I'm getting it, guys. I think I'm getting it.
What does it feel like?
It feels like I'm watching cartoons back here. This is awesome.
And I
Oh
believe
yeah.
I believe them.
Savior Renegade Angel is on. This kicks ass.
Well, here he goes. Well, after the ceremony, we went to the reception to eat. We had to walk down a hallway to get there, and I was having major trouble walking. The walk felt like a huge transcontinental journey that took forever. I was quite happy and giggling a lot of the time. After we sat down, I got a glass of water because my mouth was feeling very dry. I repeatedly got water the rest of the night. Also, the cake I tried to eat was horrid. Okay.
Oh, now hang on.
Now, so I'm imagining this too. I'm just imagining him just fucking sloshing around this wedding. You know what I mean? Like smashing into people. I have water. And everyone's just like, oh my god, like who is that guy? And he's like just an absolute mess. And he's fucking farting so much.
Shitting.
He's shitting in the bathroom so often.
And then saying the cake's horrid. Like it's the nutmeg that's horrid.
Yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? You're still tasting the nutmeg that you ate with ice cream.
Here's how to get me to not take any drugs, saying that cake tastes bad after you take it. What the fuck? Who's doing? Why would you ever do this?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That cake was probably like $850, and you're like, this tastes weird. Yeah, you just got like an ashtray in your mouth.
Delicious cake.
We came home at around 10:30 p.m. I listened to the radio for a while, which didn't produce any really weird stuff. Then a little later, when I took off my headphones,
you should have tried to turn on the Grease Man.
They would have loved that.
If he was looking for the radio to produce any
something
weird stuff, throw the
he would have loved that. Hold on, I'm getting it.
Oh, you have your soundboard.
Oh, fucking damn it. The only one that's not the Grease Man. I have like 8 different ones here. I'll get a Grease Man on here.
Cough, flub, cough.
Yeah. I feel wacky today. Extra wacky today.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You want
Hell
something
yeah.
weird, wacky, show the Grease Man.
Imagine if you heard that on Nutmeg.
Oh boy.
Especially if you're megged out. If you were fucking megged out and you heard that.
Yep.
Okay. Oh my god, I just nutted.
What about this one? Oh, god damn it. I don't want to hit the wrong one.
That's the experience right there of finally getting the soundboard and having all your buttons in front of you and stuff like that. Is pushing it and immediately going, oh god damn it, because that's you're using it right. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it
So-
takes you about like a good 6 months, I think, at least. And
6
then you sort of
years.
just-
Sometimes it takes you. to-
well, for just a normal user, I think it's about 6 months, Jesse.
So I laid down and so we came home at around 10:30. I listened to the radio for a while, which didn't produce any weird stuff.
Hello.
Hey, what little dum, what little dum,
What little
what little dum. Hi up and around?
Well, actually, I'm on my way out the door, grease buddy.
That's the sad. We love that clip, Jesse. It's the saddest clip ever. One of his super fans. He's trying to get on a phone conversation, but the guy's a little too busy to talk to old Grease buddy.
He was on his way out the door. Get out of here, grease buddy.
Wow.
So he goes, I was everywhere. It was everywhere. No matter where I turned, it was always the same spot. I realized it was from the headphones and decided that was pretty dang cool. After lying down and listening to the radio some more, I started peeking. Something I noticed is that I remember hearing things, but I don't remember seeing them. Weird. Anyway, I was getting kind of fed up with the whole thing because I was
Yeah,
He might have his eyes closed.
Sometimes you forget to open them back up, and then you're
He's
really
just- when you're hearing things and you're just not seeing things, you try to pop your eyes open.
Yup.
So here's his big thing, but it was impossible. I was very tired and wanted to sleep, but it was impossible because I would make these involuntary movements to the music. I'm going to explain this the best I can. My body parts had little levers attached to them with balls at the end. Imagine a stick with a ball at the end. These sticks went through a black wall above me and the balls were visible over my body. When my body parts would move, like my feet, the lever above my feet would move too. I started moving this way on purpose in the beginning, but it got out of control. I would think about moving to every little beat, and my body would take over and start herky-jerky fashion, uncontrollably moving. It was quite fun for a while, but then it started to grind on me. After that, I got up and went to the bathroom. What I found was that while I wasn't listening to the music anymore, I was still moving like that. This sucks. I walked that way. I moved that way. I probably would have talked that way if someone would have said something to me. It was pathetic. I managed to get to sleep, though. I don't remember how. The next day is like a giant smudge. I got up and I went to bed. I remember almost nothing about this day. Well, I remember having trouble walking and thinking, and I remember making 2 servings of lunch. I should note that during this whole time, I was having bad, sharp stomach pains that would come and go. My mouth was dry. Also, next time I went to leave reality and not remember it, I'll take nutmeg. That was a positive review.
He will do it again.
That was a positive review, Jesse. Yeah, he liked that. All of that stuff he was describing, he liked it and he thought it was good.